make here is to give that piece of pizza away. Rewind it again, right? So the idea is basically what you should do if you want to maximize happiness is that if you only have 4 pieces of pizza and 4 hungry people, each person should get 1, right? You get the idea. Okay, so yeah. So now Singer wants to say that this is basically true in general in terms of all of your goods. So you have all sorts of stuff that you probably don't need and you're using disposable income on because it makes you a little bit happier. But if you gave that same money to somebody who has less than you, it would make them much more happy than it's going to make you. And this seems to be obviously to be true. So we live in an extraordinarily wealthy country. I don't know if you realize this, but if you live in America, chances are very, very high that you're in the top 10% of the wealthiest people on the planet. Actually, probably top 10 wealthiest people who've ever walked the face of the earth. That's probably true. Yeah. There's global wealth lists or whatever. You can look this up. I think I'm like in the whatever 2.5 percentile or something of the wealthiest people on the face of the earth. And I don't make a lot of money just because if you live in the United States, you have the kind of resources that we have. Many people don't have anything at all, right? So you were probably one of the wealthiest people on the face of the earth. I like look in my closet, and I'm not even like a fashionista. You're like, yeah, I can tell. You didn't need to tell me that. Look at that shirt. What's wrong with my shirt? Doesn't matter. The point is, I'm not even that into clothes or whatever, and I have like lots of shirts. I have like lots of pairs of shoes. Some of these things, like again, I'm not even that into clothes. Some of the shirts I have, I just like never even worn them. Like I bought them, like I'll wear that, and I'm like, yeah, not today. And I say that like every day, and so I don't wear it. So Peter Singer, man, his argument is hard hitting. He basically is saying that that's wrong. That you're being a bad person. You're doing something that's you're failing to do something that's morally obligatory. If you go out and just buy like the 12th pair of shoes, you don't need the 12th pair of shoes. You really don't. Right? Like how many coats do you actually need? In fact, Peter Singer's gotten so into my head. Like I read this as an undergraduate. He's like ruined my life. Like he's like living rent free in my head. Like no, seriously. Like whenever I spend money now, I'm like F it. Do I really need this or should I give this money away? Like is this really going to make me that much happier? Like usually when you buy something, you are happy for like a little while and like a little bit. But like if upgrading your smartphone, how much happier does that make you? Like a little bit for a while, and then your friend down the street gets an even better one, and you're like, my smarphone sucks, right? Yeah. But if you have no smartphone at all, getting one is like that's a massive upgrade, right? Whereas our little upgrades are pretty small. Sometimes we just get clothes because it's like, oh, this is just a nice outfit or something. But other people don't even have shoes, right? And it's like, yeah, but I might want the 6 pair of shoes. I need 4 pairs of running shoes, one for if it's below 40 degrees, another like, come on, man. So he is in my head. I even got rid of. I'm not like a wonderful person. I didn't like give it to the poor. But I like sold one of my jackets because I just couldn't stand looking at it. I was like, I don't need that, and I have that, and it's just like saw Peter Singer's face staring. I don't even know what he looks like. Kind of do. Staring back at me, and I was like, I can't look at that anymore, and got rid of it. I'm not even joking. I'm not a particularly moral person, as I said. I still have lots more shirts than I need. See all these books I have sitting over here, and that's just like. That's like a 20th of the number of books I have upstairs. I just have little stacks and stacks and stacks of books. So in any case, it's worth thinking about. So Singer thinks that the morally obligatory thing to do is that you should be giving nearly all of your disposable income to the poor. You shouldn't be spending it on fancy stuff or on all types of other stuff. You should be giving it to people who need food, for example. So like look at like Heifer International or something like that, which is an organization that you can buy for like, I don't know, like $50. You can buy like a cow for somebody in a country that doesn't have food, and then they won't just eat the cow. The idea is they'll milk it. They can sell the milk or drink the milk, that kind of thing. You can they'll sell goats so people can make cheese, these kinds of things. Lots of organizations that do clean water. That's something to be aware of. Is that like we take it for granted you can just turn on the tap and drink the water here. That is not true in many places in the world. You can't just drink water. Not many countries won't even have tap water in your house, but in many countries, you can't just drink that stuff, right? You have to boil it first. So giving access, sinking wells in extremely poverty-stricken or war-stricken areas, there are people who do stuff like this. Yeah, we have plenty of stuff. When there are famines, those are always man-made nowadays. Yes, when there was that famine in Yemen recently, that was because of a war. So we can usually do things about this. And Peter Singer is saying that we have an obligation to do so. So this is a very different way of thinking about utilitarianism. So the objection, if you recall, was that utilitarianism seems to approve of massive inequalities in society. And Peter Singer says, no, in fact, it doesn't, right? Mill kind of bites the bullet on this and says substantial inequalities are okay as long as it's not, doesn't slip into exploitation. Peter Singer says, no, significant inequalities are in fact not okay. And so people who have more than they need, people like us, should be giving more of their, nearly all of their disposable income to the poor because that's what morality requires of us. All right, food for thought on that one. All right, see you next time.